Tiene más de 10 años de experiencia en bienes raíces y es un experto en innovación inmobiliaria. Fundó Dotloop, una plataforma que transformó la manera de realizar transacciones inmobiliarias y que fue adquirida en 2015 por CEO, donde se desempeñó como ejecutivo hasta 2018. El hoy CEO y cofundador de Pacaso, Allison, en Milenio Negocios.
Bienvenidos a Milenio Negocios, un programa que cuenta historias de empresas y también de cómo están nuestras finanzas y nuestra economía en México y el mundo. Y hoy nos acompaña Allison, CEO de Pacaso. Thank you so much, Austin, for being here with us. And I want to begin with the idea of buying a second home is always a complex process, in particular when it is in another country. And so I wanted to begin with what are the main pain points that Pacaso resolves for those people who are looking for a second home in an international map?
Well, first off, thanks for having me. Before I answer that question, I'd like to just explain what Pacaso is. Pacaso is the leading global marketplace that helps people to co-own luxury vacation homes around the world. The two main reasons why people choose co-ownership over the alternative of buying a whole home is number one, the cost savings. With Pacaso, you only buy the amount of the home that you need. And for most people, that's about 10 to 20% of the time. So with Pacaso, you can buy 1/8 or 1/4 of the home. The second reason why people choose co-ownership is because it's hassle-free. We handle everything so that the owners can just enjoy the property without the headaches that are customary of owning an entire home. And the hassle also extends to the purchase process. If you're living in, Mexico City, for example, and you want to own a home in Colorado, that is a big undertaking. With Pacaso, it's very easy.
Now let's talk about the size of the market, because you were just explaining what Pacaso does. I want to sort of zoom out even a little bit more. And have you explained to us exactly how big is the international second home market worth? And how much of that is in North America, to try to zoom in a little bit? And then how much of that do you want for Pacaso in the future?
Well, big picture, there are more than 100 million second homes around the globe. And most of those second homes sit empty for 90% of the year.
Wow.
In the US, there's somewhere between 6 and 8 million second homes. And the way that I think about Pacaso is effectively connecting aspiring second home owners with these empty second homes that are sitting around the world, in the same way that Airbnb connected aspiring travelers with empty bedrooms.
And this leads me to another question, because for ownership and international ownership and thinking about vacation homes or second homes, what started being very popular a few decades ago in Mexico was fractional time and timeshares. It all began with timeshares. You might tell me if I'm correct or not. And this was a different type of ownership than the co-ownership that you offer today. But that was the first possibility of this huge market that you're talking about. So in that sense, why have people left and started going into co-ownership, or why is it that you think it is going to be the future choice?
Well, I think timeshares are very different products. A timeshare, when people are thinking about timeshares, they're thinking about the hotel timeshare. This is a new concept that Pacaso is largely pioneering around the globe. And we've become the global leader in this category. We operate in about 40 destinations around the world. We've raised $250 million of equity capital from leading investors. And I think the reason why this is happening now, as opposed to in the past, is largely a function of a couple of major trends. The first trend is around the sharing economy. the sharing economy has become mainstream thanks to companies like Uber or Airbnb or DoorDash. A second big trend is around housing affordability. Home prices are expensive, and they're just getting more expensive as time goes on, not less. So people are looking for creative, smarter ways to pool their resources together and afford more home than they would otherwise be able to afford on their own. And the final thing that I think is driving this co-ownership trend is work from home.
You just mentioned the size of Pacaso today. I want to have you tell us a little bit about how this has been growing and your growth expectations in the near future.
Yeah, it has been a wild ride. I mean, we're really fortunate to have a great team and a really strong product that really resonates well with our customers. So we've been fortunate to grow very quickly in a short period of time. So we expect a lot of growth, and we're really excited about it, especially the international part of our business.
I'm going to go back to that in a little bit, but I want to talk about your profile because you've had this entrepreneurial seed since you were a kid, from what I understand, and you sold birdhouses when you were a kid, and it seems that real estate has been sort of in your heart and mind all along, and then you began in the business when you were 17. So this has been a long run. It's not like you started yesterday with Pacaso, that's what I'm saying. But what has changed? Because you have so much experience in the business. What has changed in these past years in the real estate business that has surprised you? You were talking about some trends, and I know that those have changed, but what is that thing that really amazes you today that when you began, it was not even imaginable?
We created Pacaso to enable people to live better lives. And that is a mission and a purpose that is relevant in good markets, bad markets, doesn't matter, right? Because the clock of life continues to tick, and we all aspire to live better lives. And that's what Pacaso helps people do. But over the course of the last few years, I would say the thing that is unique about what's happened in the real estate market was originally triggered by the interest rate increase. We went from an environment where interest rates were very low to an environment where interest rates approximately 3x from their all-time low, which caused transaction volume in the real estate market to slow down. The other thing that we've seen over the course of the last couple of years is that many people gravitate towards real estate during turbulent times because it's such a good hedge against inflation and volatility in the broader markets. And that's largely because real estate is a hard asset that is less liquid than owning a public stock in the public markets. And therefore, the volatility is much less. So if you look at how real estate has appreciated over time, for the last 80 to 100 years, real estate in the US has appreciated on average by almost 6% per year. So I think about this product as a way to both live a better life and invest in that for you and your family while having your money parked in a safe asset that tends to go up in value over time.
And this leads me to another question that I had, because you mentioned uncertainty, and we are living complicated times, and we are actually living a migration narrative in North America that has complicated businesses and put a lot of things on hold. So how can this affect the prospects of the amazing growth that you've had in the past few years? How are you also dealing with this so that it doesn't stop that growth?
One of the things that's interesting about our business, as I mentioned just a moment ago, is it is an alternative. It's a less expensive, lower risk, lower hassle alternative to the thing that we replace. And the thing that we replace is whole home ownership. So whether it's I think we would probably be growing faster if there was less global uncertainty. And if we were in a lower interest rate environment, for sure, I do think that would fuel more growth for us. That being said, I think that we're also benefiting from the fact that this is a smarter, safer, lower entry point alternative to the thing that we replace, which is whole home ownership.
Let's talk about the resale market, because that's important for Pacaso and the owners who are investing in you. So how are you guys dealing with that? How do you see that positively growing or not?
We've created a global resale market that enables people to sell their unit in a Pacaso home. Meaning if you buy 1/8 or 1/4 of a home through Pacaso and 3 or 4 years from now you decide you want or need to sell, you can sell just your portion of the home. You don't have to sell the whole home.
And finally, why Mexico? Why now?
Well, first, in terms of Mexico as a destination market, we have two concepts that we think about in the Pacaso world. We have feeder markets, which are the locations where our customers live, where their primary residence is. And then we have destination markets, which are the destinations where people visit for their vacation home. In terms of Mexico as a feeder market, we have a lot of Mexican, high net worth Mexican families that live in Mexico that want to own properties in locations where Pacaso operates. So San Jose del Cabo does tend to be a destination that Mexicans are interested in, but also places like Colorado or Southern California. We have a lot of Mexican families that are interested in these types of destinations. And as I mentioned before, we are the easiest and smartest way to own a luxury home if you live in Mexico and you want to own a property in one of these locations.
Austin, thank you so much for your time. Gracias también por habernos acompañado. Muy buena tarde.